Blood Red Sky. If I could sum it up with one phrase for everyone, it would be this phrase: I'm sick and tired of motherfucking vampires in this motherfucking plane. Basically, what I got from this movie. Obviously, I'm changing up the words from snakes on a plane, and this movie should have been called Vampires in a Plane. I appreciate the effort. I could appreciate the attempt, but it was a complete misfire through the whole thing. There was a bunch of dumb plot devices to move the story forward, and it was just more infuriating, and it actually like raised my blood pressure with some of this stuff that was going on in the movie just to move the story along. That, like I said, my anxiety level raised up. So it's a foreign movie. It's a mixture of foreign and American actors, which was actually enjoyable. You know, they used the subtitles and the voice acting, or the dubs, over the international actors or the foreign actors, and the American actors just kind of spoke, in American for us here in the audience. So I'm curious to know in overseas market, they're just talking normally, and someone in their language has to dub over the Americans. Whether that was easy or not, who knows, right? So, anyways, back to these dumbass plot devices. So there's a mother. She got infected with this vampire disease, basically, and it goes back and forth, right? It goes like from flashbacks to like when she actually got infected, and we really don't know what her infection is until almost halfway through the movie. So the pacing on this to get to the point is so freaking long. Now, if you saw some of the trailers or the posters or the artwork to promote this show, maybe you would have gotten it by that, but even then it was not even specific. I just thought they were like demons or something, or some kind of aliens, but nope, they ended up being vampires. So one of the dumb things, right? So as you watch it, it's the mom and her kid, and we find out how, again, she got infected and how she lost her husband, and she's basically a single mother, right? And they're at an airport. They're going to New York to get some kind of treatment. So you first think she has cancer, right? Because she's bald. She looks sickly. She's injecting herself. So you're like, oh, you know what? She's probably going to chemotherapy in New York and having some kind of treatment. And the movie does hint at being cancer, and then it takes it away on some cheap ass like twist, like Emlam Shamalalam, whatever his last name is, but basically one of these fake ass twists. And they're on a plane, right? And there's these hijackers that come in, and of course they're gonna use Muslims as a cover for terrorist attack, and you're not really sure as to why they're hijacking the plane and what was the plan to hijack. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, they're hijacking the plane for devious plots or devious actions, but they don't really elaborate on that, and they waste so much time. The pacing of this thing is freaking horrible. So there's a scene there where the mom and her kid are in a seat, and the kid he's just annoying. I mean, literally, I appreciate the acting that he tries to do, but this kid is so annoying. And again, it raised my blood pressure just watching this kid and how he just does whatever the fuck he wants, knowing damn well that if it was real life, there's no kid that would be that stubborn, that dumb, or that abrasive in life and death situations. But the kid tells his mom, like, oh, I guess he knows everything about planes, and he goes, oh, we could hide down here underneath the plane, or in some of like the storage where they store stuff in the plane. Like, oh, we could hide down there, even though there's like terrorists all up and down this plane. And how he thought that he could just run and get down there is beyond me. So of course he jumps through the seats and he runs through the back of the plane, and her mom, being a mother, chases after her, which then causes her to get shot by the terrorists, which then leads to all these different scenarios, basically everything kicking off from that from that scene because she had to control. I guess she could inject herself and control this disease. I should have said spoiler alert because I will spoil this movie. I'm not 100% how many people have seen this, as again it is a foreign film, but it is trending as of today, or as of this recording on Netflix. So it was one of those plot devices that were dumb and it just like, oh come on, like what kid would do that? And then like the kid starts then all that happens is he go back to his seat and then they tell him, oh, you sit down here, and he's crying like, yo, you caused your mom to get shot. So I get his tears, but it was just infuriating. And then in a flashback, right, the mom, the husband, and the baby, when he was just a baby, they get stranded in like an ice storm. The car breaks down, right? So the dad does what a dad does, right? He's gonna go look for help. So when he doesn't come back and the baby's crying, it's literally snowing. You would assume that it's super cold, and you have an infant with you. But what does this woman do? She takes the freaking baby out with her in this freezing cold, and then starts looking for her husband by calling his name, and then ultimately comes up to this old house that has these vampires that bites her, and that's how she got this disease and is a vampire. So again, dumb. Why they chose to have these dumb plot devices to move the story forward. I mean, or maybe this was the only way, right? They were in these writing rooms, they're like, oh, we see no other way for us to advance the story. And I mean, it was just a weird vampire story. And then there's this villain, right? He's basically like a dick. He's not even the main dude. He's like one of the goons or one of the terrorists, and he's super annoying. And when you watch it, you'll know which one right off the bat. He shoots someone. He's kind of ruthless, and he notices that when the woman starts turning into a vampire, if she bites another person, that person then becomes a vampire. And then he strikes up the brilliant idea, like, hey, that's a power I would like to have. And when he knocks her out and stuff, she takes the medicine because she understands that she can go full vampire, because then she'll even harm her son. So she takes the medicine and she's becoming weak. But then even that, the medicine doesn't work all the way through. And maybe because she drank some blood and that kind of offset the medication. It was weird to come up, but he ends up coming with the bright idea to use the needle and suck some blood out of her, and then he locks himself in one of the cars in the cargo area, and then injects himself with this vampire serum. Then she tries to kill him but fails, and he starts biting everyone. So then everyone on the plane, and some of the terrorists, some of the passengers become vampires. And again, why the hell would anyone want to become a vampire is beyond. Like, yeah, you know what, I want that. Not knowing whether you're going to be immortal, not knowing whether there's going to be some side effects, not knowing anything. Just say, hey, that looks pretty cool, I want that. Was just the weirdest. I mean, maybe if they had some idea that it could give you like superhuman strength and you could have immortality, which makes it more, intriguing or more of a coveted and sought after reaction, right? Like if you could live forever or live thousands of years, that would be tempting. That would be like somewhat of a actual reason why you would want to take it. But no, he was like, oh, she's a vampire. Cool. I always wanted to be a vampire since I was a kid. So let me inject myself with her blood and then transform. Ultimately, it's all for naught because the little boy, has a bomb that they were trying to blow up, or it was a plan because she, the mom actually is trying to have is good reason why she wants to stop everything. Like she wants to kill all these guys as they're turning, because in a flashback episode, the one of the vampire fathers, she kills her kid or her son, which was the vampire that bit her, that caused these, this disease to spread. And he sees it like a curse, right? And he's like, no, we can't spread this curse because it's evil. And so she's trying to do good. Like she's trying to heal herself, for she could, be a mom and to not let this curse befall on anyone else. So they come up with a plan that they can't land the plane, or if they do, they have to blow everybody up and burn everyone. That way, the thing kind of stops. But the son has the bomb, and at the end, he blows everyone out. Everyone else, the end. That's the credit. But again, the movie was more infuriating. It just frustrating is a word, a better word. Like, obviously I can't say infuriating well or whatever. I can't speak at the moment. And it just the whole thing with the kid gives me anxiety. It's and it's not only one time, it's every single time. I just put just that one, but there's like around 6 or 7 instances where this kid does things that don't make any sense, that make you like, oh my god, this kid wants to die and is causing more harm than good. And no kid or even adult in their right mind would act the way he was. There was another little girl in there, and all she did was cry and be scared. That's exactly what a fucking kid would be. But no, this kid, maybe he was the director's kid. Maybe he was the producer, some bigwig, and they wanted to center the story around him, which made this movie horrible. I mean, the whole plot, the whole idea of this movie, like I said, is just basically snakes on a plane, but with vampires. And just like that movie, I mean, it got a little bit of cult following, and maybe this movie will too as the years progress. But it was just as dumb. So for me, this movie was just a waste of my time. But if you like goofy movies that have like weird plot devices and you don't mind your blood pressure going up, go ahead and check out Blood Red Sky. My rating for this movie is a D. But those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie. And like always, that's a wrap.